Hi everyone. So the Tata company, you can see 2019 June paper. So today we are discussing this paper 2019 May June Excel IGCSE paper code 4BS102 large business investigating large business. The case study we talk about the Tata company is the largest conglomerate in the world. Tata company began trading in 1868 and now we're talking about mainly their tire company. They are India's the Tata Motors thing. The Tata Motor Company. There's an application they are used for that, and they are environmentally friendly. And my other session we talk about the question number 1 and 2, how to do those questions. So today let's move on to the last two questions. Question number 3 and 4 discussion. Question number 3 and 4 is mainly you can see that they have given figure 2. The chairman of the Tata Motor Company worked closely with the finance department to ensure that the company maintained its position financial position. So you can see they have given these figures, revenue figures from 2011 to 2017, US dollar values, 18,000 US dollars, 42,000 US dollars. So it seems to be like, increasing 18,000, then 28,000, then 39,000, then 42,000, like that. Every year they have increased their value. And the first question they're asking, define the term revenue. Define the term revenue. Revenue normally, even you can try the formula for this kind of a question. You can see price time quantity. But always I encourage you to write some kind of a sentence, full sentence. You can see the amount of money that you can raise by selling goods and services. But in definition question, you need to actually use application because no need of application. It's on AO1. So this question you can see income over a period of time from the sales of goods. Income over a period of time from the sale of goods. So you can say that can be calculated like price into sales or price into quantity. Yeah. The second question, 2 mark question, there's an outline question. Outline one reason why Tata Motor Company use overdraft. So here 1 mark for the reason, 1 mark for application. So you can see, yes, outline question, they have to use the overdraft facility. Sometimes there are, so whatever the company, overdraft is really important. They can utilize their funds to actually overcome some financial difficulties. Therefore, they can they can purchase, they can order of the tires or spare parts or whatever. Please touch the case study. Without touching the case study, that other 1 mark you can't. Okay. So let's look at the marking scheme here. You can see that application with outline question. Tata Motor Company would need an overdraft to overcome the shortfall of funds, which means that's the knowledge part, which means if they need funds to purchase additional tires. So additional tires application here, the money will be available. So that's a question. Tata Motor Company would need an overdraft to overcome a shortfall in funds, which means if it need funds to purchase additional tires, the money will be available. Right. So let's move on to the calculation question. They're asking this another 2 mark question. 2 mark question as from calculation from that table. So they're asking to calculate the increase in revenue from 2011 to 2017. You advise show your working. It's a percentage value. You can see the percentage sign. Normally they are giving in the paper in the box. They have to mention to 2 decimal places because it clearly mentioned the instruction calculated 2 DP, 2 decimal places. So the percentage increase from the sales from 2011 to 17. This kind of a table. So what you had to do, take the final value and divide it from the initial value, deduct it from the initial value. So final minus initial, divide by the initial into 100. So final value 42,839 minus initial value 18,441 divide by 18,441 into 100. Right? The final minus initial divided by initial into 100. The value comes, easy calculation. You can see value comes the difference between 2011 to 17, 132.30, 2 decimal points, 132.30. So sometimes in the application, that means substitution correct, but the answer wrong. Sometimes I might get 1 mark. That's why. So always I encourage you to show your workings, show your application, the substitution of the numbers. Therefore, at least you can earn 1 mark, even if your answer sometimes if you give it 1 decimal place without giving 2 decimal places, or without giving 2 decimal places, you just round it off like 132%. So you are getting at least 1 mark for the calculation, the working, right? So that's why always read the instruction carefully when you're asking for question is one decimal place or two decimal place. But most of the questions they're asking for two decimal places these days, right? So the other question, question number 3D, is asking 6 mark and less question, how this Tata Motor company could use the financial information in figure 2. So this case study, the figure 2 is mentioned the sales figures of Tata 2011, 11, 12, 13, 15 and 17, little like odd numbers, and how this will be valuable for them to Tata, because the sales figures they can use for comparison purpose with other companies like Toyota, like Mahindra, like different companies like Nissan. So they can comparison purpose they can use this information. So and also this information can be used to develop like a new, for example, they can use this idea for the pricing decisions. For marketing department, they can use the sales figures to do the trend analysis, and so many options are there. So make sure to touch the case study, application 3 marks, and the analysis 3 marks. Let's move on to the marking scheme and see what are the possible content that can be right in the answer. Possible application points, you can say Tata Motor Company revenue has increased year on year. So as a result of that, you can see they could invest by designing and manufacturing new cars. So they will encourage, they can resolve, they can use this information to new designs, designing new cars. Moreover, you can see another paragraph, we can say a Tata Motor Company can use this figure to compare with the other vehicle manufacturers. So that's application, vehicle manufacturers, very good application. And analysis point, you can analyze the point like such as Tata Motor Company could adjust its prices to increase its yearly or annual revenue as a result of that. By comparing with their suppliers, they can find out what is their market position, what is their market share, like that. Then they'll be able to analyze their position in the market. They'll be able to select good supply, the pricing strategy for the marketing department. Okay. Let's move on to the other question, question number 3E, right? So this is the second 9-marker question. You can see 6 marker, then another 9 mark question. Every paper we have 2 9 markers coming and one 12 marker coming. This question was pretty easy, 9 mark question, because always, a lot of past paper questions you can see this 9 marker, like always primary research and secondary research, right? Sometimes can come for 12 markers, but this time 9 marker question. As I repeat again, in my like first session, I have explained you what's other like a 9 mark question we did. Remember, there also we talk about that the options about the option question. Select only one option, stick to one option, and don't waste your time to write the definition. Right, for 9 markers, just start with the your option. Let's say I select option 1 here because of firstly because of this, secondly because of this, and give some argument against the option. However, this is the argument, this is the problem, this is the issue with this option, and at the end give some of a solution for it, like an evaluation, like a conclusion you can give. However, it depends on this issue can be overcome by this, by alternative at the end. Therefore, option 1 advantage outweigh the disadvantages. So you must write some part of a application, right? Analysis and evaluation. Normally, I prefer the system of 2-1 method, 2 advantages and 1 disadvantage, and the evaluation, the conclusion method. So when you're writing those things, you can use primary research. General advantage primary research. It is you can use the primary research method like questionnaire method, focus method, and also interview method, focus groups and everything. So you can ask the information from directly what kind of vehicle designs you like, what kind of price range you like, possible contents of application. And I tell you another technique, like when you write a 9 mark question, first of all, you can list down, jot down some points of application point. Possible application point is better, because for this kind of a question, you have to first of all plan before you write. So planning is really important. Decide first of all what are you going to write for the possible content, positive points, negative points, application points. So here you can talk about the application point, you can talk about the vehicle, the prices they like to pay, the colors they like to have, because they are going to promote it vehicle sales. Then by considering the options, they want to gather information to vehicle promotion. So what kind of information, what kind of a source of information they can collect from the customers? They can ask from the customers what kind of price range would you like to pay, what kind of colors, what kind of a design would you like to have, right? What kind of a features would you like to have in the inside the vehicle, the interior, exterior, so many things. Those are the possible contents. Please jot down those points before you're going to write. Then make sure that in your answer you are going to apply those points, possible points. That's the only way, because when you start answering without the proper plan, then what happen? Your answer will be just free flow and going out of the track, and you're just writing a generic answer which is no touch of the case study of Tata Motors. Then you are not getting a full marks. So don't do that mistake in your answers. Always stick, because application is like a soul of your answer, right? If you have to plan your answer, the body and the introduction part, the mainly the advantages, disadvantages. A lot of students, in my experience, I know so many students actually they miss the application points and ended up with low marks for this question and 12 mark questions also. Therefore, don't do that mistake ever. Writing an answer, please make sure to write down the possible application point that you can have. It can be a chocolate question, chocolate manufacturing, or it can be a this kind of like an IT question. It depends on the case study always. Application points, actually you have to decide it, what are the things that are going to be right there in application. Sometimes it can be the passage, the paragraph point from the comprehension thing that in the case study, or sometimes you can decide, you can made up sometimes, right? So everything you have to find out. For example, in this case, you can talk about the motor, the vehicles and tire size, and the interior features, exterior features, the colors and the prices, product, price, place, promotion, everything you can have from the questions. You can set up like a small, jot down those points. What are the points that you're going to write? So let's move on to the mark schemes and what are the points, possible points they want to have in your answer. In option one, primary research, they're saying that primary research is you are able to obtain information directly from the people about the cars, and they wanted that the price are prepared to pay. Pricing decisions, car, right? How much price they are prepared to pay? Easy question. And look at the analysis point of option one. As a result of that, it helps start a motor company to gather information that is relevant and can help in designing and pricing to the next cars to be manufactured. They can get that information to get an idea for the next car model they are going to manufacture. But look at the evaluation point. They say option one. However, although gaining its information is important for Tata Motor Company and is very costly in time and manpower, right? It's time consuming and costly. However, that's the thing. The disadvantage of the primary research. And because they wrote it in application, Tata Motor Company. I always, in my previous session, as I told you, using the case study name is a limited application. You have to use some kind of example of that case study, right? As a result of that, you can improve the quality of your answer. So use that the point that you have jotted down in the application, possible points, and then you always, right? You can use that points as I told you, make the point, explain that point using that because leads to therefore points, and then link it to the case study by using that application words. And then what happen, write the impact on some business, write the impact on the business area, either HR or the impact on finance department. As a result of this, you can see they have to spend more money, the profitability of the company might go down as a result, will be costly and time consuming, and they need more manpower as a result of the, to do this thing. So as a result of that, you can see, and at the end give some kind of a conclusion line, answer the question overall, the Tata Motors should use primary research, or you can say both methods, primary and secondary, both, the mixture of that gives kind of a solution for this. Therefore, you can say overall the advantage is outweigh the disadvantage. Therefore, it is important to have primary research to get the information about their sales figures. Like that, you can have a nice conclusion answer and use that word like however it depends and justify it, and then give some kind of solution if you can. These things will give you maximum marks, 9 out of 9 you can achieve for this question. Okay, now we are moving into our last question, the fourth question of this paper. In fourth question number 4, you can see the structure for that. We are giving 12 mark question coming in the last question. Therefore, you can see the first question is a 2 marker, and then second part B, 4B is a 6 marker. So 2 plus 6 is 8. Then last question is a 12 marker. 8 plus 12 is a 20. Okay, so I want to start this answer. First of all, the second part, this one, the 2 marker question calculation. Here they're giving again Tata Motor Company employs over 60,000 employees around the world. In 2017, the turnover was 42 billion US dollars with 9 million car sales. Right? They have a revenue value they have given 42 billion, and their sales quantity they have given 9 million, and they have given the the Tata Motor Company has 6,000 car showrooms all around the world. 6,000 car showrooms. So what they calculate, they ask you to calculate the average number of vehicles sold in each car showroom, right? So this section is normally it's a costing section. You can see the average number of cars sold in each car showroom. Easy question. How to do? Take the total number of car sales and divide it by the maximum or the total number of showrooms. You can see is 909 million over 6,000. 9 million vehicles divided by 6,000 showrooms. That means for one showroom, the value coming is 1.5, 1,500 vehicles per one showroom. It's pretty good number, right? 1,500 vehicles per 1 year. It's a pretty good number. So like that, so this kind of questions are coming, right? Then 6 mark question. 6 mark question, they're asking to calculate is done, and 6 mark question, analyze why the Tata Motor Company ensure that its staff have detailed induction program. This section comes from the HR section, the training. There are 3 categories of training, induction training, that is kind of orientation program for the first, when you employee introduction to the organization, they have to give some induction program, and also we have another 2 kinds of training, on the job and off the job training. But this asking what is the why Tata Motor ensure that its staff have a detailed induction program. They're asking the purpose of induction training, and they're asking why they need induction training. The main purpose of induction is orientation, to familiarize the workers with the setup, which increase their confidence, and will be know they are working, the colleagues, the machines, and everything. They will familiarize with the system. Therefore, it increase their confidence and the efficiency as well. So this kind of a thing also, like 2 application points, and analysis points are important. It's better to write 2 points here and explain those 2 points in 2 different paragraphs, right? So you can see the possible content in this kind of answer. For B, employees of Tata Motor Company are made familiar with the working environment, whether it is on the production line or in an office. You can talk about the production line, this application, or in office, and they are introduced to the staff that they will be knowing with, be familiar with the staff in the production line. They have to, first of all, is a part of induction training, factory visit, introduction to peers, introduction to superiors, like that, everything. So it's give some kind of an orientation program for everyone, health and safety training. So many things are covered under induction training. So this is the thing. As a result of that, employees are given the training, they begin to feel part of the company. Right? They are part of that culture, they are part of that system. So it will increase the boost of the confidence level, and they can work efficiently as a result of that. Moreover, you can start another point by introducing the staff. They will be familiar, they will work more efficiently with their colleagues in the production line. Don't forget to write that production line things, right? Or the office thing, because it's important to write that application. Without that application, you are losing another 3 marks. Keep in mind. And as a result of that, it would make the staff feel more settled and make more welcome and productive. This is how we are to use for 6 marker. Right, let's go to the last question of the paper. It says that the 12 mark question, evaluate, normally command word comes with the evaluation question, right? Evaluate. Tata Motor Company is always looking to find the right location for its new factories. So what the question they're asking, location, evaluate the factors Tata Motor Company would have to take into account. Evaluate the factors that the Tata Motor Company would have to take into account when making decisions about where to locate new factories. About where to locate new factories, new location decisions. You should have to use the information provided as well as your own knowledge of the business. This statement coming for all the 12 mark questions. So what's the main thing they're asking in the question? Evaluate the factors affecting the location factors, right? When you're selecting a location, this is a manufacturing company, obviously. So there are selling locations and manufacturing locations. They're asking what are the factors affecting for them, what are the factors they have to take into account when they are making their location decision, a new location decision of their factory. Factory, not a showroom, factory. So you talk about what we normally have some kind of like a, normally in this kind of question, we have normally start with, I'll tell you structure. The difference between 9 mark and 12 mark, normally they are using 9 mark 2-1 method, but without any definition. But this kind of a 12 mark question, we have to start kind of a definition, like introduction part, knowledge section. Right? If you're unable to write some kind of definition, even the points that you're writing have the knowledge marks you're getting. The advantage is the point that you're going to write, the location factors, factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, like that. The factors also is regarded as the knowledge marks. So if you write something, if possible, if you can write the definition, that's the best starting. So you should have a small startup point, when like introduction point when you enter into this kind of answer. This answer also, you have to first of all plan this question before you write. Plan this question, have a plan. What kind of content I'm going to write for the application? You can talk about the, okay, proximity to labor. What kind of a labor I'm using this Tata Water company, like mechanics, machine operators, spray painters, welding people, who are possible content. Hmm? In your mind, go to the motor vehicle, okay, Toyota. Remember the video that we watched regarding the inside the Toyota factory, right? From your mind, dream about it. What are the possible jobs? What are the possible content I can write for this kind of a question? First of all, take some 1 or 2 minutes, think about it, plan about it before you write. That will give you a good chance of writing a good answer, right? And then think about the possible application point, like proximity to labor. Okay, what kind of a labor? Proximity to material, what kind of material? Like in water vehicles, normally especially they need the iron, right? The iron and the nuts and bolts, spare parts, tires, batteries, so and so, right? So think about it, write about it, then knowledge will come to you definitely. That's why they say use information as well as your own knowledge of business. 12 marker, right? And then they have to start with the good points. As a 9 mark question also, I recommend you to write here at least two points, like in favor of the point. In favor of the point. This is location point you should take into consideration. And try to start writing over also, against also. Now we can see negative points. In this case, however, the Tata must be take care of the pollution level. However, they must be take care of when you're deciding to recruit more labor. They must think about their condition, working conditions. Sometimes giving a good pay, right, without exploiting them. Sometimes you have to make sure when you're taking the environment, like the taking the resources from the nature, like iron and everything. They should think about the pollution level also. So always balance your answer. Good balancing is important in this evaluation question, right? Arguments for and against, and conclusion, right? So it's 2 for and 2 against. Start with the definition, 2 points for and 2 points against, and the conclusion. This work I use the method like the Meliba points. So mainly I prefer to write like one whole para with like mainly two advantage. You can write 6 strands methods like Meliba points. So make the point, explain the point, link into case study, application point. Then you can add there and write the focus on the area of the business. What kind of impact if there as a result of that area can be HR, or it can be marketing, it can be operation management, it can be IT. So whatever the area, make some area, what kind of impact is there for the business as a result of that. And make sure write some conjunction word, moreover, right? However, furthermore, or firstly, secondly, right? And also make sure write the application and analysis point at the end, and also evaluation point, right? AJKO. Answer the question, yes, this location factor is important, and give overall, they should justify why you have decided this option, and this is really good option. What are the factors you justify, and give however this depends on the government regulation, however it depends on the country's geographical climatical area, whatever. You have to just give evaluate your answer at the end, give some kind of good evaluation point. Okay, let's look at the marking scheme of this, and we'll see what kind of a possible content they're gonna asking in the marking scheme section. So you can see the 12 marker structure. Question number 4C. AO1, 3 marks. You can see AO1 is application knowledge part. AO2, application, another 3 marks. AO3, analysis, 3 marks. AO4, 3 marks. You can see AO1, possible knowledge part. You can say finding a location that has skilled labor. This point for the location decision, manufacturing. Make sure that the location is accessible so that deliveries can be made, right? So what is that? Proximity to the resources, proximity to the labor, proximity to resources, accessible to the like deliveries and everything, like resources can deliver on time and in full, right? What are the possible application? You have 2 points. You can see Tata Motor Company needs a range of skilled employees like engineers, designers. I told you, machine operators, right? Spray painters, engineers, designers, automobile engineers, and designers, and so on. You can design, you can develop, and it may be located either near to a port. It's better to, because why? They have to export the items, port, or where there is access to motorway or rail lines, so that the vehicles can be transported to their next destination. So that was really important. The transportation mechanism near to the port, right? The shipments and everything will be easier then, or else we can say the cargo. You can see either port or either railway line, right? Look at the examples, like a very good example application. Look at the analysis point. If they are near to the skilled labor force, that is proximity to labor, so it will be helpful. It will require to run the factory operation, and this could reduce the overall cost of the new factory. This would reduce the overall cost of the new factory. What kind of impact is there for the business organization? Another point you can see, if the factory will need a continuous supply of material and the finished vehicle will need to be transferred for sale. As a result of that, if you accessible the ports and the railway lines, you can see, then you can easily, you can continuously, you can supply the materials and finished goods, finished vehicles to the market for sales. Look at the AO4 evaluation points. By locating near skilled labor force, the cost of land and infrastructure may be higher, thereby adding to the cost of the location. Look at that evaluation point. As a result of locating going near to the skilled labor force, the cost of land, however, might be expensive. However, it will be expensive because the cost of land. Because if you go to like a highly like a area where a lot of people are there, urbanized area. Anyway, urban areas like lands are expensive, right? And also you can see the infrastructure is one of the many factors affecting the choice, right? And it will be factors affecting the choice of location, and other factors maybe become more important. That's why they say at the end, even not only the this one, not only the proximity to labor, not only the proximity to material, even the infrastructure. Give some alternative point. Even infrastructure also many factor. However, it depends on the government support. However, it depends on the amount of infrastructure they have. Of one of the many factors affecting the choice of location, and other factors may be more important. So not only that, even other factors also have a more prominent and more important on that, like that. So I think if you follow that structure, I think the definition, two advantages or two evaluation point, and the conclusion, you will be able to get 12 out of 12, and at the end you will go for easily, can reach the A star 908 at the end. Okay. I think that's the end of our 2019 June paper. So I think you have understood very well the paper that we discussed this one. The paper was, overall, if you analyze this paper, it was well balanced paper, large business paper, user terms and everything. The paper, the mechanics and the structures was everything. I think you have get that answers the 12 marker structure, 9 marker structure, the 6 markers and state question, even 1 marker structures, you know that thing, right? So if you have an issue, you can even use our comment lines, and you can, if you like this video, please give your feedback. I really appreciate if you give your genuine feedback for you. Then see you on my next discussion of so I'm going to expect to go for another paper discussion like this. See you with that session. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.